Welcome to the last newscast of LUTN. I'm Jada Hoffman. During these uncertain times, some students are turning to their faith to help them cope. University's ministry continues to offer different services to students using Facebook Live and their YouTube channels. I spoke to Aiko Sunio, a member of music ministry, about how she has been able to continue to provide the community with church-like services.
We record songs through a cappella, so we use an app, and with the other members of music ministry, we kind of like take turns and assign like who will sing, who will play, and then we'll share these videos with the music ministry like YouTube page and Facebook page as well.
University ministry has also continued services such as community outreach groups, mass, and daily prayer services for students, staff, and alumni to partake in.
As we say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. May thy kingdom come, and thy will be done, on earth.
I spoke to coordinator of retreats and faith formation, Jennifer Rutherford, about how ministry has been connecting with the community.
Our Sunday night masses that are normally 8 p.m. on campus are now, they've been showing up at 11 o'clock on Facebook Live in kind of a different way and more of a prayer service format.
Though these are hard times, Rutherford looks at this as a way for people to anonymously get involved.
If someone was scared to attend maybe a student-athlete Bible study, for example, well, with this online format, there's different ways to do that now that might even feel a little safer.
Despite the year coming to an end, students can still practice their faith with Lewis Ministry.
But I think we'll continue prayers. We're available and continue YouTube channel things. And then doing a lot of planning for a new year that hopefully brings us back to campus in August. God is not limited by this pandemic.
Now we go to Grace Hilber, who has a story on retiring professor Keith White.
This is not how Lewis's Keith White envisioned his 26th and last year of teaching, but the show must go on.
I first started coming to Lewis when I was still in high school because I lived in Joe.
He served as the Leaders Department Management for 11 years while directing more than 30 productions at the Philip Lynch Theater. White also teaches classes and while teaching for 26 years has never experienced online learning. I talked with him earlier this week about what his classes are looking like on a daily basis.
And my classes, for the most part, aren't just lecture. You know, it's a lot of experiential work. The students do things. So,
while getting familiar with online teaching, White also is realizing that this will be his last year teaching and says that it is bittersweet.
You know, at first it was very disappointing, but now it's fine. You know, I'm okay with it. You know, it's what it is. You know, can't whine about things. So,
right. White has accepted the way things are ending at Lewis University for him. Others are still struggling with the change. He will forever be remembered at Lewis University for all his accomplishments over the years. Now, Mayette Lloyd has a story on dating a first responder during the pandemic.
COVID-19 has changed the way people have been able to interact with their loved ones. To cut down the risk of infecting others, social distancing has been put in place. Families, friends, and couples are all having to come up with unique and creative ways to stay in touch and keep their bonds strong. COVID-19 has put the relationship of one special couple to the ultimate test.
Adrian and Kiana have been dating for a year now. She is a brand ambassador and he is an EMT. They are a very close couple and enjoy similar activities like bowling, going to the movies, and eating new and exciting food. They are used to spending a lot of time together, but COVID-19 has brought an abrupt change to that. Being an EMT puts Adrian in constant contact with patients who may have COVID-19, so he is always at risk of being a carrier with or without symptoms. Kiana lives with her mother who has an underlying health issues and is at a higher risk of being infected, so it has been important that Adrian does not come into their home. They have creatively come up with a few ways to keep their relationship special. Adrian drops Kiana's favorite tailored tacos off at her doorstep and they speak through the glass door. I spoke with Adrian and Kiana to see what other creative things they're up to in their relationship.
Do like these virtual dates, or he'll come by and he'll drop things off for me. And we talk a lot more often on the phone together. We do a lot lot of video calling just because we can't really see each other a lot or just kind of spend that time together. We used to, sleep together like at night, like wake up in the mornings, all that nice fun stuff. And we don't really get to do that so much.
So we just speak a lot on the phone. The virtual dates, which she mentioned, we'll watch Netflix and try to sync up our TVs best we can so we can watch the movie together. I do drop off food and liquor so that way we can kind of share that from a distance together. And, just try to simulate what it's like to kind of be with each other while being far away.
Adrian and Kiana refuse to allow social distancing and COVID-19 to ruin their relationship. They are one example of countless other couples who are coming up with innovative ways to stay in touch. COVID-19 has challenged our normal way of life, but love, technology, and creativity are challenging it right back. And now we go to Abraham Alonzo with the story on how the quarantine is affecting the Lewis University nursing students. For LUTN News, I'm Mayette Lloyd.
The world has had to adapt to COVID-19. This is no different for the nursing department in Lewis University. We're going to take a look at how they have adapted to life without clinicals as Dr. Nancy Reland gives us an inside glimpse.
Clinical is meant to be experiential, and we're out there in the hospitals or in the public health departments generally, and not being able to do that, we had to be quite creative of looking at different resources that could be easily accessed, that weren't a large financial commitment, that would give our students some continuing clinical experiences. So there is some very good simulation out there. Our accreditors allow all nursing schools to do a certain percent of their clinical hours in a virtual or a simulation format.
Nursing students have moved on to online experience for their clinical hours, as they are completing simulations and virtual tests.
Studies, have shown that a certain percentage of simulation can be really effective.
Although it's not what Lewis nursing students envision for their clinicals, they're making the best out of the situation. This is Abraham Alonzo for LUTN.